It's Saturday morning and Kim Duk-gu is getting his restaurant in Tokyo's Koreatown ready for business. He's one of more than 500,000 Koreans who have permanent residency in Japan and who, if the Japanese government is successful in passing planned new legislation, will soon have the right to vote in local elections.
We pay tax and receive things and live here just like the Japanese people do. But it is a matter of feeling. I'm Korean, but if I have voting rights, that is going to feel better. That's because we are living here permanently.
This year is the 100th anniversary of Japan's annexation of Korea, an appropriate moment, say the new law's proponents, to allow Koreans in Japan to vote without having to naturalize as Japanese citizens, something about 10,000 a year presently do. About half Japan's Korean permanent residents have what's called special status, their presence here due not to recent immigration, but to Japan's imperial history. Evidence of which can be found in Magome Cemetery on Tokyo's eastern fringes, where a memorial stands to the Koreans killed in the 1923 Kanto earthquake. The Korean presence here in Japan was cemented between 1910 and 1945 during Japanese colonial rule of their then unified country. They were brought over as Japanese imperial subjects, many of them against their will, especially during World War II, when they were required for extra manual labour. After the war, they lost their Japanese status and in 1947 were officially designated Zainichi, Koreans living in Japan. It's a status that many now prize and want to hold on to at any cost.
Korean citizenship is integral to my identity, but because I maintain my citizenship, I cannot be involved in changing the system of the society in which I live. That way of thinking is ridiculous to me.
The planned change has provoked opposition from Japanese nationalists, and there's more subtle criticism too, from those who say creating a modern, multicultural Japan is not served by granting special privileges to certain ethnic groups. Instead, it should be made easier for Zainichi Koreans to become naturalized citizens.
Most of the Korean people living in the United States have become Korean American. I don't see the difference for those Korean living in Japanese as a third generation or fourth generation. I know there's a history behind it, but now it's a third generation, fourth generation, and it's been more than half a century. So I think it's a time for them and time for us to settle this issue.
It's lunchtime at Kim's restaurant and business is booming. The owner and his customers already feel at home in this part of town. Soon they might have a say in how it's run. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Tokyo.